Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. Thank you for joining us today. And you're joining us with a live audience. How about that?
Are you nervous?
I'm good.
I'm never nervous.
I'm good, yeah.
We've done 90 videos of these.
90 of these.
I'm just not nervous anymore. So
it's
all good, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, if anything went really, I'd just push the button and we'd start over, and you'd never know.
That's right, because I don't cut anything out.
Right.
So we're good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What are we covering today?
So today, in the last couple of episodes, we talked about the top 5 questions that sellers ask.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about the top questions that the buyers ask. We're gonna hit 4 of them. So I think we can do them all in one.
These are the most popular questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This should be good.
Okay. Here we go. Number 1. What is the first step in buying a home?
I guess it depends on how far you want to go back. So the first step I would say.
Well, let's put it in this perspective.
Go to a mortgage broker.
I decide I want to buy a home or find out what I can buy. What do I need to do?
Okay, so go to a mortgage broker or contact an agent. Get directed to a great mortgage broker or a bank person for a loan and figure out your finances.
Yeah.
That's assuming that you have good job history, credit is good, and you have a down payment.
Sure.
So, but once you're like in that mode, you're in gear, you're going to buy a house.
Yeah.
Go figure out what you can afford.
Yeah.
And then start figuring out what your needs are.
Yeah.
Right?
So the first thing, if that's you, if you're watching this and you're saying, hey, that's me, the first thing you need to do is contact a mortgage broker so you know where your numbers are, or contact a real estate agent that can connect you with the mortgage broker. And then once the mortgage broker gives the number, here's the thing, the mortgage broker is going to give you a number. You can qualify for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. But your real estate professional is the one who's going to be able to tell you, well, with that number, here's what you can get in this neighborhood versus that neighborhood, this area versus that area, and will help you make a decision to find something that fits kind of location, lifestyle, everything else that you're looking for.
Yeah, that usually we'll figure out how far do you have to drive to get what you need.
Yeah.
Typically, right? Like from work or that kind of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not back in time.
No.
No. If the budget isn't there, no, we'll have to go back to 1995 to get that price.
Yeah, right.
You know, sometimes that happens, right? People aren't aware of like what the market is.
Yeah.
Like either coming here or.
I was going to say that's a big one, is when they're coming from other markets.
They're just not looking ahead. They're not doing that research and figuring it out first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had so many phone calls. They're like, oh yeah, my budget's X. And I think, I'd be like, oh, great. So, we'll be looking at condos. No. I would like to, is there any ocean view houses out there? No, maybe not around here, maybe, right? So.
Yeah. So I had a conversation with someone here this last week, and they said, hey, can we find something, a 2-bedroom condo at this price?
Yeah.
And we're okay to drive a little bit out of kind of Victoria, if we have to, into the West Shore, whatever the case might be.
Right into the burbs. Okay.
Yeah. So basically what I ended up telling them is, if you're prepared to drive 2.5 hours, I can get you into a 2-bedroom condo at that price point.
At that price, yeah.
Or you're going to have to probably be looking at a mobile. And there's nothing wrong with a manufactured home. I just was making them aware of kind of what the facts are based on their situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2. Should I sell my current property before buying a new one?
I would say the short answer is yes. And the reason why is you know what you have in your hand. You know what you're working with. Now there's ways to get around that. You could make offers subject to the sale of, but if it's a hot market, sellers won't typically entertain that offer.
Right.
So what does that mean? Subject to the sale of the other home selling. So it's a condition. You can make an agreement possibly with a seller based on the condition that you will sell your house within a certain amount of time.
Right.
So if it's a hot market, that's they might just look for a buyer that's already done that.
Yeah.
They've already sold. And that's another reason why
Yeah.
you should sell your house first.
Well, and the one other thing to add to that is if depends on your financial position, but if you're in a position where you can bridge the two deals, where you're essentially, you're going to end up owning two properties. And ideally only for enough time that you're just paying interest between the two of them to switch over to the new one while you sell off the other one.
If you don't have closing dates that match,
Yeah.
possibly, if the sale of your home is after the sale of your purchase, then you're paying for two mortgages for a little while. You get the convenience of not doing it all in one day.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice, but it comes at a cost, right?
Yeah.
And it's still a risk if you've done that and haven't sold your
Sure.
home that you're currently in.
Yeah, and you can certainly try to stretch out your closing on the sale of your home, so that gives you this is my window to find something else. But it is easier to find something, and I think you have a little bit more motivation to find something when you've sold your place.
I'm glad you brought that up, because people will ask me about that, and they will have so much hesitation, like, well, I don't want to sell my house until I know I've got something. But there's something really does change if you have an offer on your house, all of a sudden you're looking at houses differently.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is my analogy, and maybe I'll apologize later for it. You get to go hunting with your gun loaded now.
Yeah.
And you're not just window shopping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you know what? There's something called Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson's Law states that an activity or task will expand to fill the time allotted for it.
Oh,
So, example,
yes.
how many times were we writing papers the night before they were due?
Oh, because you have that deadline.
Right.
And you make time. Oh, I'm
Right.
tired. No.
Now you've
working.
let it go, let it go.
Okay.
Bang, now it's got to be done right now.
It provides that deadline, and all of a sudden you find motivation.
Yeah, what Parkinson's Law states is they'll let it go until you hit that hard deadline, and it's like, oh, now what are we doing?
Oh, so if you know that, if that's your personality, that's the approach you should take then, because you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Without that deadline,
Right.
maybe kind of sort of you'll get around to it.
Oh yeah, it was funny. One year before school starts on Monday, it's Sunday. I'm in the lineup, and I don't know. It's like 4:45, right? Staples closes at 5 or something like that. I'm in the lineup with all these other dads with all these school supplies, and I'm thinking to myself, is this not Parkinson's Law in action right here?
That's right.
We're all the dads. We could have been doing this a week ago, a month ago, even 2 months ago.
Nope, it's the last day.
It's like you have 15 minutes.
Yep, let's get this done, right? I've done some of my best work like the night before, essays, homework, projects, anyhow.
Yeah.
Parkinson's Law. Okay.
Parkinson's Law.
What else do we have?
Should I do a home inspection?
Yes.
That's simple. I would go with that too, 100%.
Yeah, you're going to take an ounce of prevention. You're going to buy a house for it doesn't matter, $500,000, $1 million, whatever millions. Have a second set of eyes on it that has experience looking for signs and symptoms of things that even if there's nothing wrong with the house, it gives you a list of here's all the to-do items for maintaining these. You have these things in the house. These are the things you need to maintain every year, every so many years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of I see value just in that.
Yeah.
Even if there's nothing wrong with the house. Of course, if you find something suspicious or wrong with the house, you can get a contractor, a different inspector, and you can keep going checking the house out.
Yeah.
And then you can, at least what you're getting into. I think you had one of these where it's the house had like a cracked foundation, and then like it just, after finding out how much it costs, like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
We can handle that, right?
And their thing was also, okay, so we get it done for this price. What if we find something else? Because the inspector can't dig into the foundation and find what else is in there.
Oh yeah, they can't look behind walls.
Right.
Like they can't cut things open.
Right.
And then I'm sure this is the caveat every time, somebody starts doing a renovation, be like, oh, well, we cut the wall open and then we found out like, oh, this is all rotted, or, I don't know, the wiring's wrong or something. Like it just escalates, and
Yeah.
so there's a risk. There's a risk there, but yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All
Answer
right.
is yes.
Okay. So the last one for today. The last one. How many houses should I view before purchasing one?
I've had people look for 2 years, and it would be like on and off. I wouldn't hear from them for like weeks, and hey Patrick, I saw this on the, and they'd just be, and it just took them 2 years to decide on something, and they got a good house. There's that personality, and then I've had people say, hey Patrick, we looked at this house in an open house, like come write the offer, and I didn't show them any houses, like so I had to run out there, and I need to look at the house before we write an offer, right?
Right.
Like, so it really depends on people's personality, what kind of frame of reference, how well they know the market, if they've seen open houses.
Sure. And I think the other part is if the house fits what they're looking for,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, we're talking about somebody who's ready, willing, and able to buy a home. If the house makes sense, then go ahead, right? I think the shortest turnaround I have ever done on a home was the clients were on their way to the airport and looked at something the night before, and then and then contacted me, and we looked at the condo, we wrote the offer, got it accepted, and they got on the plane.
Oh wow.
And because for them it was an investment property, and a beautiful brand new condo.
Yeah, this is acceptable. We'll buy it. It'll rent.
Yeah.
It's in a good location.
Yeah. But we basically did it in. She was like, "We must be a record, right?" I was like, "Yeah, maybe not." And then I thought about it. I thought, "Yeah, no, absolutely,
probably.
We turned this thing around in about 3 hours." So, and on the flip side, like you said, I've had clients. I have one client for her. It took several years. There were some health issues in between and things like that, but.
Okay. So how about, maybe this will be more helpful. What would be the average amount of houses that you might show to a client before they decide, hey, this is the one? Of course, during COVID, we could have written like 20 offers with people, and it's like, well, every house you see, it seemed like we wrote offers on everything.
So,
but now that
I
it's
would
back
say,
to normal.
okay, let's just say all things being equal, I would say if we're looking at somewhere around 6 to 8 homes, we should be able to find something that fits what they're looking for. And again, some clients can be like, no, it's got to be absolutely perfect. There's perspective that happens when you get out in the market and start to see what you get for your dollar, those kind of things. But I think that's probably reasonable for, I would say, 6 to 8 homes.
I think if you asked me before COVID happened, it probably would have been like 12, 15 houses. Maybe not all the time, but like on average. And now it's like half of that.
Yeah.
People are making decisions quicker.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, just an observation.
Yeah. So there's today's top Googled buyers questions.
The most Googled buyers questions.
Questions.
Awesome.
I should say most asked buyers questions.
And they're great questions.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and in that, thank you all for joining us again. I think we have everything, our contact info and everything else in the comments description.
Yes.
If you're looking for information about anything we've talked about, or you have any questions about what we've talked about, or you have some things you want us to talk about, feel free to put it in the comments. And
our book's going to be...
the book's coming out, so watch for that.
Sign up in the newsletter, and we'll keep you up to date there.
Okay.
Awesome.
See
Thanks
ya.
for joining us in the video. Catch you in the next one.
See ya.